Get what you missed on.
Pearl Play with Yvonne Mutui.
Introduce yourself to us.
Israel Ugadiru is my name. I am interning right here at Pearl Radio. Like, I'm the guy who's behind the scenes for your show. I do social media management for your show.
Yep.
So y'all who are hitting on Yvonne, like, I know you guys. So yeah, and I'm also a journalist, journalism student at Daystar University, and
Yes.
also a psychology student at Daystar University.
People who
So,
decided to read.
I
Why?
know, right?
Why Israel?
Well, the Bible says, look and seek knowledge.
Eish.
Buy knowledge and sell it not.
Hey.
So what I'm just
I
doing
see.
is I am fulfilling my scriptural command.
Hey.
Yeah, that's just all I'm doing. And
All
owing to
right.
the fact that I'm very passionate and interested in everything that I'm studying, I think it's time well spent.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, you
Yes.
were, I was in Daystar with you, right? I wasn't Daystar with
know,
you. Let me
right?
just say was because, yeah. I was in Daystar with you, and you were one of the most famous people in Daystar University.
My
I don't even know how we
gosh.
became friends because I was just there at Chinia Water.
Oh,
but Chinia Waba.
I know, right?
But you told me
Yeah.
something I did not know because I knew you were running for president.
Yes, I was.
In Daystar, but I
Yes,
did
I
not know
was.
that you were bullied.
Oh my God.
Tell me the story.
I
First of
was.
all, why did you want so much to become
I
president?
was okay. I'm very passionate about leadership.
Okay.
And every time I see things not going in the way that they should be going, or every time I see that, in as much as things are going well, but I feel like I can probably help, some stuff to go better than they are, then I always want to take up certain responsibilities for me to be able to, present the solutions that I have on the table.
All right.
So those are some of the reasons as to why I wanted to run for Daystar University president. And so this particular time, I think, when was it? 2019, 2020, I decided to, get in the race and, try and win this thing.
Was tough.
It was tough. It was tough emotionally, psychologically, physically, financially. It was tough. It was tough. But you know what? Like, glory to God.
Glory to God.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what people said about you.
Crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. First,
Wait, were these people you knew, or it was just anonymous people out of the blues?
it was my friends, Yvonne.
It was your friends?
It was my friends.
No
well,
way.
Let me say former friends right now.
Okay.
Yeah, let me just say former friends. I
Have
can
you
tell
forgiven them though?
Yeah,
Because
I
we talk
have.
about forgiveness a lot on this show.
I
so
have, but-
you gotta have forgive them.
But I haven't forgotten though.
Well, you still haven't forgiven, but just go on.
No, I did. I think I did forgive them, but then after a while, because here's what happened. Yeah. So I was running and I was vying for president, and we had come up with a very formidable, strong campaign team. So all of a sudden, this new guy comes and. He had so much money, I don't want to mention his name online. And he comes in, and because of his money and also his outside influence, he kind of like influences very close peers of mine to get to his team. So that kind of like made me feel very bad. So at this particular point, one of the people who was in my team, but now defected to his team, decided to, come and request me whether we could have a conversation with this guy so that we could see whether we could form a coalition or something like that.
Okay.
Coalitions happen a lot in politics.
Yeah.
So the first time, this guy created a group between me and this guy who I was challenging. Yeah? And he was also there, and then he added some other two guys from this other guy's team. So at that particular time, the main purpose of the WhatsApp group, it might sound really petty, but it was just to discuss and also talk about how we're going to meet up.
Yeah.
So we met, but then unfortunately we couldn't get to an agreement. So we just decided to part ways.
Okay.
So all of a sudden, after a few days, I see the WhatsApp group profile picture has changed to a photo of myself with some very crazy or very weird looking body. Yeah, it's like photoshopped.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, okay, so what's going on?
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden I see this thread, people starting, oh, Israel Ugadiru, the son of a pastor, but is just a bust. You can
Oh
fill
my
it out for
goodness.
yourself.
Wow.
Then all of a sudden they continued, they said about how my dad eats money in church.
Yeah.
Yes.
The PK.
Exactly.
Like, totally
They
understand.
came. They said about how I'm being educated by people's offerings in church. They said about how I am just a lame person. I can't do stuff I cannot afford the things that they can afford.
Right.
My campaign team is filled with a bunch of idiots.
What?
And they spoke all of these things. And at that particular time, one of the things that you need to know is that politics really takes an emotional toll on you.
Yeah.
And there are people who you think are your friends, but all of a sudden they leave you at that particular point. So the moment that these people continue hitting you really hard with such words and such things, it really drains you emotionally.
Okay.
So-
When you're reading these
Yeah.
comments and this, what people are saying,
Yeah.
what is going through your mind?
Hate.
Hate.
Like, these are people who hate me, you know. And the most unfortunate bit is that sometimes you can really hate these comments. Like me, Sasa, you can really hate these comments to the point at which you could actually find yourself becoming some of those comments.
Wow. Okay, explain that.
I know, right? Some of those people can say probably that I'm really good at public speaking.
Okay.
But then they kind of like had hit on you probably some of the mistakes that you did before. And what they do is that they amplify those mistakes, and by the end of the day you start thinking, okay, maybe I'm not so good like people usually say I am. And then all of a sudden
Yeah.
you start making some really silly mistakes that you never made before.
Yeah.
So sometimes you can really hate those comments to the point at which you become them. Think about it this way,
Yeah.
in even like different psychological situations. People who have grown in a fatherless home, or they've grown with abusive fathers, all of a sudden they start dating and they tell their girlfriends that, you know, I would never become what my father was.
Yes.
I want to become that I never had. You know?
Yes.
And the girlfriends are like, okay, fine, that's amazing and stuff like that. Wait till they get in a relationship. Somehow, some way, that their father was, they become. Why? Because they hated it so much to the point at which
It
they
became
became.
that. Whoa. It reminds me also, I know we're kind of digressing right now,
Yeah.
but even like children who've grown up in homes where the fathers, maybe the parents are drunkards,
Yeah.
and they grow up saying, I am never going to become that.
never gonna
But then
become
they
that.
become exactly that.
Then they
so
become
it is
exactly
possible
that.
to become that which you hate so much.
Exactly.
And how? Why does that even happen? That's not even fair at all.
Exactly. It's just a psychological tool. It's because most of the time what we do, especially when you get such comments online, we think about them so much. We meditate upon them so much. Now, this is actually why I think God says in verses such as this guy, wait, I'll remember it. 1:8, Joshua 1:8. He says, meditate upon these words day and night.
Yes.
Why? Because God knows that the more you meditate on His words, you become those words.
My goodness, you have such a good point.
You know,
Yeah.
like what happens is that most of the time you receive these comments online, you think about them consciously or subconsciously, and then all of a sudden you become those comments.
Sad. That's sad.
Very sad.
Oh my goodness. Sorry, Sana,
Yeah.
for what you went through. I hope you're A-okay right now.
Yeah, but I think there's also one thing that I need to tell you about.
Okay.
You know, I was in that WhatsApp group whereby they abused me for a whole 6 months.
6 months?
Yes.
Why didn't you leave?
I couldn't leave, Yvonne.
Because of why?
I don't know how I couldn't.
You got addicted to hearing what
Yes.
they had.
Yes.
No way.
That was the terrible thing. That's something that I have never shared online or with anyone.
Oh my
It took a
goodness.
friend of mine to make me in that WhatsApp group.
Wow.
Like, she took my phone and she left when I didn't know. It's crazy.
It's crazy. It's
crazy.
insane.
It's
And there are a
insane.
number of people who've gone through this online, man. This is a conversation we have to talk about.
Definitely.
Tell people the kinds of bullying that there are and why it is so bad and what we can do
Yeah.
as people. So I think when it comes to cyberbullying,
Yeah.
Israel, and you correct me if I'm wrong,
Yes.
we tend to forget the person at the end of the line, the person we were talking about. No matter how crazy we think they are human.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And yesterday I was watching a TED Talk. Do you remember Monica Lewinsky?
I do. I do.
Yeah, her 1998 scandal
98
with
scandal.
President
Bill Clinton.
And so I was listening to her TED Talk because she
Yeah.
recently just spoke out, I think about 4 years ago, after a very long time of silence. And she
Yeah.
came out and she was like, at 22 years old, and we all do messed up things at 22, right?
True.
So
true.
apparently had
Yeah.
to be in public and was with the president. She fell in love with her boss, but now she was talking about the humiliation she went through.
Definitely.
because now she was no longer Monica Lewinsky, someone's daughter, someone's friend, someone's sister. She was that woman who cheated with the president, that woman who,
they label you that way. It becomes your identity.
Yeah, that becomes your identity.
Exactly.
Yeah, and she was talking about the humiliation she went through and how actually she mentioned that humiliation, research has proven that humiliation, the feeling of humiliation is more intense than anger and love combined.
Wow.
Yeah, humiliation is that bad. Because she almost killed herself a couple of times. She almost killed herself a couple of times because of what was going through. Why do you think we tend to forget that the person at the end of the other line is human?
Well, one of the things when it comes to cyberbullying is that we feel like it's not as bad as the normal kind of physical bullying, owing to the fact that we don't have the physical interaction. So we tend to feel like it's more aggressive than what it should be. Sometimes when we're bullying other people, we feel like, okay, it's just online. Like, you know what? It's not like they can see this. It's not like, So some people think that it's not as serious as it actually is. And then to some other extents, hate can consume the person who's doing the bullying to the extent that their own humanity or the thought that the other person on the other side is human too is all of a sudden, it just is not there anymore. And one of the reasons is hate. Number two is when we think that it's not as serious as what it actually looks like.
Because someone will just say something very hateful. Hey, blah, 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 your forehead is so, it's blah, 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 your eyes, blah, blah, blah. And then just put their phone aside and go on with their lives like nothing's happened.
And the worst thing is that they hit on your deepest insecurities.
Right.
Sometimes you don't even know that this person has such an insecurity.
Yeah.
But then you make it a joke, then you post it online.
Right.
Yeah. They come and then they body shame you, and then they tell you that you're not beautiful. You need to. Kwanza, a few days ago, there's this very big social media influencer.
Yeah.
And so she had commented on Twitter, and she just made like this very funny comment on Twitter. And it was just okay. Then this guy comes out in the comment section with something totally different out of what this public figure had posted.
Yeah.
And then the guy goes like, wewe kwanza badala ya kuombea watu wengine, omba Mungu akuongeze.
Ay, come on.
Exactly. And then some people shamelessly take that as a meme and share it online.
Yeah, of course, people are going to share it.
And then you ask yourself why people are getting surgeries to add various places and stuff like that.
And that is very true, because you get bullied online for maybe having darker skin, for maybe having a certain kind of body type. And we wonder why our girls are going out there and spending so much money on these things.
I know,
It's because of what we're saying online, and it's just so sad. But there are different kinds of cyberbullying that I actually found out. And I did not know this, but exclusion is actually a form of cyberbullying. So you're having a birthday party, Israel.
Yeah.
And I'm your friend, we're friends. You're gonna have to invite me for your birthday party. But I know about it. Everybody else knows about it. Everybody else at work knows about it. Everybody else at school knows about it. But you decide to exclude me from it.
Wow. Wow.
Did you know exclusion is actually a form of cyberbullying?
I never knew it's a form of cyberbullying, but then I get that it's bullying in some type of way, but I never knew that it's some form of cyberbullying. And that's actually crazy, because I think I have friends who've actually been through that also.
Right?
Yeah. And I never knew it was some kind of cyberbullying.
Want to give an example?
Yeah. A friend of mine was being hit on by some other guy. Yeah. So it was okay. Let me just give a very weird name. Her name is Mercy.
Okay.
Yeah? So Mercy was being hit on by Manasseh.
Okay.
Manasseh Shalom, please, if you're listening to this,
it's not you. It's not you, brother.
It is not you, please. Don't start writing songs saying, people on Pile Radio. No. So Manasseh hitting on this girl, yeah? So Manasseh is best friends with Sharon.
Okay.
Right? So Manasseh is planning for a surprise party for Sharon.
Okay.
And so Manasseh invites a few of his very close friends, and then they start to plan a party. Remember, Manasseh adds Tracy to the WhatsApp group.
Okay.
So Tracy is trying to involve herself in the planning, but everything that Tracy is proposing, Manasseh isn't taking it. Manasseh is taking the proposals of these other people. And so on the day that they were supposed to be having that birthday party, Manasseh calls Mercy in the morning, and Manasseh goes like, okay, hi, so unfortunately, owing to the fact that there's COVID-19 restrictions, we had to cut down on the number of people who were coming. And guess who's being cut down? Yes.
That is
Mercy is the one who's being cut down.
That is just ridiculous.
After all the hustling and all the planning and stuff like that, she's still being cut down. So it's actually quite tormenting when we talk about such things. And the worst thing is that these things look small, but we never really see the emotional toll that they take.
You do not realize that there's such a toll on the other person.
Exactly.
Yeah, but apart from exclusion, I think the most major type of social media bullying is harassment. Remember, there's a story about this lady.
Yeah.
Her name was, unfortunately, her name was, and by the way, we need to check those, we need to share the statistics.
Exactly.
About how many people lose their lives here in Kenya. But
terrible statistics.
Yeah, very bad. But there's this lady, her name was Martha Akinyi. So was it Martha Akinyi, or I think she was Akinyi someone. Either Mary Akinyi, I don't quite remember the first name.
Yeah.
But her child got defiled by her baby daddy, who they weren't together anymore. So your child has gotten defiled. You can imagine the frustration you get as a woman.
I know, right?
And so she's trying to get help. So she's calling her friends and she's calling everybody. It's like, mtoto wangu ameharibiwa, you guys, I need help. I need justice. I want justice for this man. But nobody really responds when, the phone calls, I think they were a bit slower than she hoped they would be. So she decides, thank God for social media. So she heads over to his Facebook page. I refuse to mention. I'm not going to mention that page, but she goes to that page and decides, you know what, let me share here and see if I'm going to at least get justice for my baby. But man, the things people said about her on that page, they said such terrible things, saying she's an attention seeker. What are you doing here? You calling her names and all that. And she was so devastated. So you know what she did? She went home.
Yeah.
And then the housemaid realized that who dem haiko poa, so akachukua mtoto.
Yeah.
And then this lady Akinyi, she stripped. She removed all of her clothes and jumped on the highway.
Jesus.
She stripped and jumped on the highway. She killed herself just like that because of what people were saying online. And that is just one story out of so many others that happened that we do not get to know about. So we don't realize that one comment that you've posted there is it's one more reason for someone to actually think of taking their lives, and it's just really sad.
Taking their lives, and it's very sad because owing to the fact that now the baby is going to remain without a mom. And the baby technically doesn't have a father. Yeah. Because the dad is, we can call that man a father. Honestly, we just can't call him that.
Yeah.
And it becomes, it's very devastating, and it's also very shocking about how we treat everything as a joke.
Right?
Especially in an era whereby memes have become the greatest place. Yeah, like the greatest asset, the greatest, nowadays we even get relationship advice from memes.
It's sad, but it's true.
So all we want to do is make fun of everything
and anything,
and anything. Then it leads to so sad, Yvonne. So sad.
Yeah.
So sad.
But harassment, I think, is one of the most common types of cyberbullying. And someone just goes online and just says very strange things about you, and you're like, where do you get these from?
Exactly.
So let me just quickly define harassment.
Yeah.
It's also known as cyber harassment, and it is the use of instant messaging and websites to bully or harass an individual or group through personal attacks. Harassment can be in the form of derogatory or insulting comments made on those comments, and those responsible for harassment are often difficult to track, as a perpetrator is often anonymous, like that egg on Twitter, that very profilers people just coming out here and harassing people online. Man, we'll have to talk about dealing with that. But there's another one that people don't realize. I think, first of all, it's most common in this generation of ours, and people don't realize the effect of this. So I have texted you, Israel.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And I have told you something very personal, or I'm just, declaring my love for you, or admitting I have a crush on you, which I do not. I do not. Okay?
No, Yvonne, it's okay to admit it online. Guys, Yvonne just said.
Okay, can we just stick to the example, please? Gang, I can see you. Gang, I can see you. So, Israel, so I text you something, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm texting you trusting that, you're going to keep it to yourself. But you...
Kidogo.
No, na screenshot iko pale kwa status. I'm a screenshot is on your story on Instagram. It's these women, they seem to be blah 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 blah. But look at them, nini.
Hashtag men are the prize.
Ati men are the prize. Ati hashtag men are the prize. It's called outing. This is called outing.
It's called
where
outing.
you take where you take someone's private information and put it out online, and people don't realize how terrible that is.
It's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. Let me give you a funny story.
Okay.
But I was still in campus, but sichukuliangi hii story kwa roho.
Hujajam?
I think sijajam.
Umewaforgive?
Nimewaforgive.
Okay.
In fact, hata nimewaforget. Like if you are showing story, I'm reading it from my journal. 2018. I did this. Hata Ivondo amenikumbusha, unfortunately.
Because how you've already forgotten.
Nishasahau hii story.
All right.
But anyway, so I was dating this mommy, back in I don't want to say her name,
It's okay.
So I was dating this mommy, and we had a good relationship. It was good while it lasted.
Yeah.
So unfortunately,
hold on. Let me just drop in here a quote I said yesterday when we were talking about heartbreaks.
Yes.
Good relationships often don't end.
Yes.
Bad ones end as they should.
Thank you.
Anyway, just
you
go
have
on.
just reinforced my forgiveness.
All right, go on with your story.
So here's what happened, So as we just had like this amazing relationship, but then unfortunately ni kama contract ilisha. So unajua contract ilisha, so me I was like, we can't be together because of this and this and this and this. So what she did is that she got so mad, and she sent me this text online, about how she was breaking up with me.
Okay.
And so at that particular point, you've just said, I was very well known in school.
Yeah.
So I was in this WhatsApp group, and it had over 200 people in that WhatsApp group, and it was this very active WhatsApp group. So what she did is that she took a screenshot of that very bad message that she sent me, and then she put that screenshot as the profile picture of that WhatsApp group that we were sharing.
Come on.
So all of a sudden, me, I'm in a matatu.
way.
I'm not lying. Like, I am not lying. I can even go back to my Google Drive. You can see. So me, I'm in a matatu. Then I get phone calls. Guys are like, sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I didn't know it was like this. If you want help, if you want to talk to us, I'm always here for you. I'm like, aye. Until I even started thinking, hey, okay, Kwani, what has happened?
Yeah.
Ati, I'm sorry. Other people start sending you texts. I'm sorry about what happened. Other girls send you texts like, you're such an idiot for doing this and this. And I'm like, okay, what happened? So when I go online, Maze, my WhatsApp was blowing up.
Yeah.
It was blowing up. So many messages, so many things coming up. And for me, I don't take it to heart, but there are other people who've done worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Other people who even take images that are very sensitive to you.
Yeah.
Then they post it online.
True. And also part of outing is where like you have private photos on your phone, right?
Shucks.
Those photos you take that you don't want nobody to see.
I know, right?
But there are people who have ways of accessing these photos and putting them online. And more often than not, we cannot control that because it's happened to famous people, to celebrities who have enough money to know what to do with that. But sometimes we have no control over that.
You have no, and they come to your utmost private place.
Yeah.
Then they take those very vulnerable photos of you.
Yeah.
And then they just body shame you online, or they post them online.
Yeah.
People don't understand the toll that it really takes.
Man, because now there's someone sitting somewhere thinking, I do not want to be alive tomorrow to keep on reading these comments or to keep on seeing this happening to me. True. Now, people of God are bullied on a line. Tell you pastors, tell you singers. Let's not even talk about Jimmy Gate. I'm really sorry for what he went through.
I know, right?
Let's not talk about Guardian Angel and his choice of love. Let's not even talk about Kinakabi or Jesus. I'm telling you, these people are bullied. Passes, they're bullied online. And just yesterday,
tell me about it.
Just yesterday, someone came out and decided to out someone. Okay, and they decided Natasha Lucy. No, Lucy Natasha.
Reverend.
Yes, the Reverend Lucy Natasha.
Yes.
And they went online and they said things that were very strange about them. But that was not my problem because if someone decides, fine, it's time to say whatever I want to say, that's fine with them. My problem was the comments, because people who call themselves Christians, man, the things they said on those comments, I was like, why would anyone say something like that?
I know, right?
And do you have to say it?
Sometimes you don't, and this is a challenge that I actually want to challenge those Christians who are really speaking out badly against, pastors, reverend. I don't care whether the pastors, the reverends are fake. Kuna wengine hadi usema, oh, this person is a devil worshipper. Okay, so kama ni devil worshipper, go cast it out. Do it. Go cast it out. Unasema this pastor is a devil worshipper. Okay, fine. Instead of telling us,
oh Lord,
thank you for telling us, but now do this.
Okay, just
go cast it out
on the ground, and
exactly. Oh, TB Joshua was using fake miracles to heal people. Okay, you use real ones.
You know, let us see.
Yeah,
and you know
heal
what?
people
You
with
have a
real
very
ones.
good point
It's
because
true.
you've reminded me of something else.
Yes.
Also, that happens in the same line.
Yeah.
And this thing for I stand with, quote unquote, I stand with Israel, I stand with blah blah blah. And
come
then
on.
we stand with people on social media on our status, you know, to make up. Or I stand with Nani. Hujam call. You've not called them. You've
call
not
them.
sent them a dime. You're
know
just
it.
there standing. How are you standing with them?
I stand with, oh, guys contribute. Oh, guys contribute. And then you're like, at least I shared.
You know.
You're like, what?
No, it don't work like that.
It doesn't
It don't
work
work
like
like
that.
that. It's like a time I don't know what is happening,
Yeah.
and then everybody's WhatsApp status was black, and I'm like, what's happening? Why our status is black?
Yes.
So how does me changing my status to black help someone in South Sudan? How does
I
that
know, right?
work?
How does that work? Now, this is the problem. We think social media is indeed powerful.
Okay.
It's a very powerful tool of communication, but it just doesn't stop at the communicating bit.
Yes,
You know,
you're
every
right.
communication needs to be accompanied with a certain action.
Yeah.
You know, for it to be fulfilled.
Yeah.
So when people communicate, they feel like that's enough. That's everything that they've done.
Yeah.
Wewe siku moja kuwa na mchango. Uone how many people, you'll get like 200 people will post it on their statuses.
Right.
But only 5 or 10
Have
are going to
contributed.
contribute towards giving you something.
And ain't that sad?
And it's a very, very, very sad thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes I tell people, if you're not going to contribute, don't even post. Honestly, don't even post. Just don't. Well, sometimes I might be okay, fine, but sometimes I just tell people don't even post, because most of the time people become sympathetic, but they don't come and help you.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
and that standing with isn't even coming from the heart. It doesn't move them to do something about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Crazy, Yvonne.
What do you think I should do as a person, you know, as Yvonne Mutui, as, you know, I'm just there with my Jessica social media and then I see something, someone being trolled. What do you think my role is? Is there something I should do? Should I go to the comments and tell people, you people, why are you bashing someone? Don't
Why
you
you bashing?
understand that they are human? Am I supposed to, should I do that?
I don't think, number one, restrain yourself from continuing with the trend of trolling people.
Okay.
Like a few days ago, because you know we're both journalists and stuff like that, like there was a very sensitive video that I was sent for. And apparently there was this socialite who, you know, was recorded when she was changing.
Okay.
And so somebody recorded it and then shared that video online. So she was trending on Twitter. So I got that very funny video from some group, and I saw people laughing and stuff like that. But one of the things that I did, immediately I got it, I actually deleted it.
Good.
Why? Because I did not want to continue with her. You know, every
Yeah.
time you share something, you actually encourage the trolling.
True.
So play your role. Don't share that.
Don't share anything.
Two, if you can talk to them, if you can hit them up on DMs and tell them that indeed mi hapa na hapa naona ni kama ulikosea, tafadhali rekebisha this particular place. So at that point it shows that you're actually genuine in terms of providing criticism,
Yeah.
as compared to just going on the status
Yeah.
and start to bash them on the comment section.
know.
Oh, you're stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, sijui what.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
sometimes let's try, in as much as we might not have too much power on social media, because probably the number of followers you might have is little, but just don't share it.
You know, I'm laughing because I've just remembered I was watching a certain Kenyan comedian and they were talking about how some guy posted a picture 4 years later, no like, no comment. So he decided to comment for himself, tell himself how handsome he was. But here's another thought I have about dealing with cyberbullying.
Yeah.
Leave a positive comment for someone when you can.
Exactly.
Right? If you see something and you see maybe people are saying, just leave them a positive comment. People might bash you, but you just say
Yeah.
something nice about
Just say
it.
something nice about it.
Yeah.
Simply, just simple. Say nice. Just say something nice.
Yeah.
It doesn't cost you anything. It
Yeah.
doesn't cost you much.
Which reminds me, by the way, so here's the statistics of how this thing goes in Kenya. So 87% of us,
Yeah.
young people in Kenya,
Yeah.
have witnessed cyberbullying. Like we've seen someone else being cyberbullied.
Wow.
69% of us have experienced it. 41% being girls, 28% being boys.
Wait.
Yeah.
What percent being girls and what percent being boys?
41% girls are bullied online.
41% girls.
Yeah,
and
28% boys.
That's quite a big difference.
It is,
between
because
between the girls and boys.
yeah, and you know, most of us, we're just being body shamed out there.
It's true.
Yeah, so many ladies, ask them. Ladies will do, I'm telling you, you just innocently posting your picture. We saw this picture is very beautiful. You saw yourself made in the image of God.
I know, right?
You put it online, and then someone will have something to say about your forehead.
Eyebrows.
Let's not
forehead.
even talk about mine. Just popping out there. Why would someone do that?
And forehead yako
Nani amezoom?
I think
Gang, I can see you.
Gang, Petrox amezoom your forehead.
But anyway, yeah, so a huge number of girls are bullied online, and of course most of them really it goes to their heart, and they get into depression, into anxiety, they become quiet and all that, and it's very sad. So it is very important for us to be kind.
True.
Because there'll always be someone out there to troll someone.
Exactly.
Just don't be one of them, right? Don't be among them.
Exactly.
Be the good one.
Just be the good one, be the nice one. Go to the comment. You don't have to say bad things on the comment section. There's always the DM. If you really have a positive criticism, just do it on the DM. But if you have nothing good to say,
don't say anything.
Exactly. Then just pass it. Don't even like it then.
But there are people who say, if you have nothing good to say it in French.
Say it in bonjour. Sasa ubaya ni Yvonne anaelewa French.
Yeah, I get a bit of French.
Yvonne, you speak French.
Thank you so much, Israel, for joining us today. Any last comment, last thing to say to your haters or celebrity?
To my haters, I love you. Yeah.
But final comments.
Let me be like those celebrities who always have messages to the haters. I couldn't have made it without you haters. Anyway, so be nice, number one. It doesn't cost you anything to be nice. Be nice, be kind, love people. If you don't know how to love people, tell God to show you how to love people like he does. Because I was reading statistics, and there was this comment that I read, not statistics, but there was this a quote that I read a few days ago, and it said that if people, both men and women, understood how to love each other the way Jesus loves, then we wouldn't be having cases of rape, we wouldn't be having cases of depression, we wouldn't be having cases of cyberbullying and all these things. All there would be is love, kindness, and growth and prosperity.
Wow.
So let's try to understand the heart of God concerning loving each other. And once we understand that, then we're going to have an amazing society and community.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so love to each and every one of you who listened, who tuned in. Nawapenda tena sana. Yvonne, thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you so much for joining me. I hope to do this more often with you.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So Yvonne Mutui on Barrel Play.
Weekdays from 10 a.m.